Hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, we're going to talk all things Elder Rifts and everything involving them as a free-to-play, my best approach that I take with this on a weekly basis for new, old players alike. It doesn't matter. This is just my personal choice and preferences here, so I wanted to put a guide out for that. So, let's start with Elder Rifts in general. Let's really bare bones it here. In general, they can be found in Westmarch, of course. This is your bread and butter for getting gems and everything involving gems and crafting them up. Getting gem power for upgrades, getting copies for upgrades, that all things. So Elder Rifts pretty much are the biggest part of the pie here. So, what I do every week as a free-to-play, I run with however many rare crests you can get a hold of. There's the Hilt Trader sells them on a daily basis. I usually, and actually no, now you can buy the entire week's amount. They changed that recently. You can buy the entire week's amount of rare crests if you have the hilts, that is, over time to build up a stash. And this is what I do. So I always have, and I always run 3 in a party of 4 all the time. I put 3 in. You can put 10 if you want. That's up to you. But I run 3 so I can do the bonus weekly limit with the party. So you can get Fading Embers. This is what this synergizes into. All these things are needed, and you want to do each of these as much as possible. Again, I personally go and put 3 rare crests in per party, because sometimes people don't even put any crests in at all, and they just kind of are along for the ride. So they're getting Fading Embers, of course, with no cost to them. But anyway, regardless, still put in, that's why I go for 3 if you can. If you're not, put in wherever you can. Especially if you're just starting out, you won't have that many built up, but still you want to do this regardless. Because you want to get the Fading Embers as much as possible. And also along the way of doing these Elder Rifts, you will get what is called Telluric Fragments. Telluric Fragments are used to craft 1- and 2-star gems. The cost of them is listed here, and the list of them is listed here as well, just by hovering over this. The 2-star gems will cost 80, and the 1-star gems will cost 20. It all depends on what you want to use for, you know, your build. Now, as far as crafting these up, you're going to need gem power as well. I'll go to that when I get to the jeweler. However, I just wanted to show what you need to know about all things Elder Rifts, basically. After you run enough, if you can anyway, if you have enough crests and you've run, or even if you don't have enough crests, try to get into parties anyway with people that were using crests to get your maximum bonus weekly limit here of 120. After that, you don't need to run with parties anymore, which is what I don't do. After I get this maxed out, I stop running parties, and then I save. If I have crests left, I save them and I take them off, and then I just run the base weekly limit here the rest of the way until it's done. Usually I do about 5 a day of these on average, just to kind of space it out throughout the week so you're not burning yourself out on it. They did raise the limit. It used to be 8 per run, but now the Fading Ember you gain is 10 per run. Okay? So, like I said, I would run 5 a day myself, and that actually, with the 10, it does creep up a little bit faster than it used to, so that's kind of nice. But I don't use, at this point, once I have maxed out, again, the weekly limit, I run the base the rest of the way up without using any crests, and I save them up until the following week and start the whole process over. So that way you always have some on hand and you're not running short of them. Now, over the course of time of doing this, with running the rare crests, however, put these back in. Over the course of time of putting the rare crests in yourself, you will gradually build up what's called Telluric Fragments. And now we're going to go ahead into the jeweler in Westmarch, and I will explain that a bit further. I was just going to cut, but I'm going to show you where to find the jeweler in Westmarch. Again, a new player perspective here. I'm trying to cover all bases. Alright, so here we are at the jeweler. Cyril is pretty much who you're going to be working with mostly in Westmarch anyway. You can do the same thing with any jeweler in any camp in any of the zones, but this just makes it way more convenient because Westmarch is the main hub for practically everything at this point.
Oh, hello. Combining, socketing, polishing, we do it all.
Yes, indeed. Don't bother with the trade Telluric Fragments. That's really kind of a lost thing anymore. Go to gem services. Go to gem services, and here we go. Now, the most important tabs, depending on what gems you have available. If you're just starting out, you're not going to obviously have any at all. So I'm trying to draw it in. We'll start with basics and then kind of branch out a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into detail in this video. I just try to keep this down to the point as much as I can. All right, just starting out. Let's get this out of the way. We'll talk about, let's see, upgrade. Just starting out, I would suggest Berserker's Eye. This one still works to this day for PvE, all PvE content mostly. This is the best one to have. Don't mind the, oh, you'll increase damage you take by 5%. That's in PvE, you'll get over it. It's just something. The damage increase. This is a maxed rank 10, by the way, so it'll take some time to build this one up. This is a 1-star gem. Very easy to get. Only takes 20 of the telluric fragments, to get. This is one I would say to go for. Definitely one of the first ones as a new player starting out for all classes. It doesn't matter what class you are. This is one I would definitely suggest starting out. And another one just starting out, I would say get a damage over time gem, because the dots are a big deal in this game in every aspect of any way, shape, or form in the game. So I would definitely say get a you can get a 1 or a 2-star. Now if you don't have that many fragments, I would say for a 1-star damage over time gem, the best one to get is Everlasting Torment. Okay, at least get that one going for you, so you have a dots or damage over time gem on you early game. Okay, and Everlasting Torment is used in a lot of damage over time PvP builds as well. So even though it's a 1-star, make no joke about it, it is very, very good. It's still being used across like a lot of builds. Now the other one, if you're going for a 2-star, if you have the fragments and you want to go, you know, the cost of 80 fragments, I would say Viper's Bite, because this one applies a poison just by damaging something. There's nothing else you got to do. Just by damaging. Now, it cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds. However, it is very strong for what it does. So that would be my suggestion for another dot gem to have if you want to get one. And that's a 2-star, by the way. Okay, that's the basics of those. Now, there's a 5-star gem. Everybody needs to have in one way, shape, or form, whether it be for resonance or as an auxiliary option. The auxiliary option means you put that ability into one of these gems. Like I have one right now, my Bloodsoaked Jade. If I want to put just the ability of the gem itself, a rank 1 ability, into something else, that's what auxiliary gem is for. You put it into one that you say have higher resonance on, like this one. In my case, I want to, you know, put in. See, another ability here. Oh, okay, select auxiliary gem. I'm just gonna pick one of the ones that shows here. So then I'll put this one in. Void Spark, dealing damage, conjures. Yeah, this would be the effect. It would be a rank 1 effect, however. So keep that in mind. But yeah. But anyway, back to how to get. Well, if just starting out
come again.
As a free to play, just starting out, it's gonna take some time. But the Hilt Trader sells one every week. There's events that go on. And also there's options to get them in the Battle Pass. These are called Telluric Pearls. You get 40 of these built up, and you can craft a 5-star gem of your choice. This is very, very important. And if you do not have one by this point, because these take a long time to acquire, the first one as a free-to-play as anybody in any class that you want to get is the Bloodsoaked Jade. So you go and craft one of these. It'll say visit the jeweler. If it's your first one, you'll probably have to run an Elder Rift for it first. After that, I don't think they care anymore. Or they might have changed it where it doesn't matter. You just craft one straight up anyway. But the Bloodsoaked Jade is the most important one you want first and foremost. Why? Because the inherent bonus in that one, no matter what level you have it ranked up to, is, let's see, Here we go. Movement speed. Increases your movement speed by 10% straight up. So it's a 10% movement speed increase. Speed is key in this game in every aspect possible. So you want movement speed any way you can get it. This is the way to go about it. You want a Bloodsoaked Jade, even if it's a rank 1. Get it as soon as you can. And that goes for everybody. Again, this is a comprehensive, new, old, returning players, that kind of thing. These are the top priorities, I think, that fit into this list pretty well. After that, I'm not really going to say any more in this video because I've already gone on long enough, and I'm going to try to wrap things up here. But after that, it's kind of your choice for your class more so than anything else. There are a few more that I think are pretty much general across all classes, but those are the 3 basic ones. The 5-star Bloodsoaked Jade, the Berserker's Eye 1-star, and then a dot gem of your choice. This will help you get going very early in the game and continue that much further into it as well. Upgrading gems and all that, we'll get into that in another time, but that's what all the Telluric Pearls, Telluric Fragments are used for. The fragments here, as you can see, one real quick before I wrap this up, the Telluric Fragments, again, this is how you go about crafting them. Once you build them up from the Elder Rift runs like I showed at the start, you come here and you pick whichever one you want. And here's the Viper's Bite per se. So that one, 80, of course, I have enough. Craft one, and then move on from there. Upgrading them, you're going to need copies, and you're going to need what's called Gem Power. That's a whole nother ball of wax. I'll get into that in a separate, shorter video as well. So I'm going to wrap this on up before I ramble on any further. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. But thank you, as always, everybody. Stay safe out there in the real world on fire, as always. Take care of yourselves as best you can. One day at a time. That's all we can do. And until next time, see you.